Hi, it's Bob Pickett in the studio right now with Chris Young. Chris, it's been an amazing year. #1 song.
Yeah, man. It's so strange too, because I talk to everybody, and they're like, "How long have you been on the label?" I'm like, "Well, it's three and a half years now that I've been on RCA."
Right.
And we'd had 3 singles come out before this song, and I think the very 2 of them both peaked at 37. That was the highest charting single I'd had at this point. And so when this one went to 36, like, I got excited at 36. We threw a party, and then it's just blown up from there.
So your life really has changed. #1 party next week, probably, I assume.
Yeah, we're having the party next week, so life's changed a lot for me and for my band, and thank you to anybody coming out to shows, because those have definitely changed. A lot more people.
Now, how did you? I've heard this story, but I'll let you tell it. How did you find out your song went to #1?
Yeah, everybody wants to know how this happened, but
yeah.
We were in Salt Lake City, and we were actually, going to stations the whole week promoting the song, and we were leaving and flying home on Saturday, and we knew that Saturday afternoon, Saturday night, we'd have a pretty good idea where the song was going to be, because just the way the charts work, that's when they were going to have definite numbers, and we'd be able to tell. And I told the head of my radio promotion staff, this guy named Keith Gale at RCA, and I told him, "Keith, I'm calling you when I land, because my flight lands at like 4:30. He's like, "All right." So when I call, he answers, and there's like a lot of voices in the background, so I assume he's busy with other people. And he's like, "So, how's it feel to have the #1 song in the country?" And I just start laughing and said a couple words that I probably shouldn't in an airport with people. But, just I'm freaking out. And he goes, "Hang on, somebody wants to talk to you." And he puts somebody on the phone, and this guy starts saying, "Hey, man, congrats. I just want to let you know, when I had my first #1, I was down in Puerto Rico," or he said somewhere. He's like, "I was down there, and there's nobody with me from my label, and found out, and this guy at the bar knew me, and I'm thinking the whole time the more information this guy's giving me, the more I'm like, Keith likes to pull practical jokes, so I'm assuming he's got someone on the phone messing with me."
Did you have any idea who the person was?
Oh yeah. So the guy gets the end, he goes, "And I just want to say thanks." And I was like, "Who is this?" And he's like, "Well, this is Kenny Chesney." And I'm like, "No, really, who is this?" And he goes, "When I close my eyes, you're all this." This is really Kenny Chesney. I was like, "Oh, sorry."
So that's really
I felt like a complete idiot, but yeah, it was Kenny Chesney telling me congrats on my first #1 record.
Don't you wish you had that on tape?
I sure did.
Boy,
yeah, I do.
Now let's talk about the video, because I've watched the video more than once. Okay. Did you come up with the concept for the video?
I didn't even have to come up with this. This was an idea that got pitched to us by.
And who's the girl in the video?
She's an actress named Katie, who is.
That's some good acting.
She did some fantastic acting.
Yes, she did.
But what was funny about that is, when I was talking to the director originally, he was like, "Well, we need you there at noon." I'm like, "We're not going to start earlier than that?" He's like, "Yeah, you can feel free to come earlier. We're going to be shooting all the scenes with her in the bathtub." I was like, "I'll probably come at noon." And he's like, "Why?" I was like, "Well, it's probably going to be a little awkward if I watch her for 4 hours in a bathtub and she doesn't know who I am." And then I'm like, "Okay, now we're going to do the scene where you drop your dress repeatedly."
Which does happen at the end of the video.
It happens in the video. And we did have to shoot that a lot. Lighting,
that's what it is.
We had to get the lighting just right. So that looks really good. Can we move that light just a hair and shoot that again? Okay, good.
What a great video. I'm sitting there watching, I'm going, okay, wait a minute.
In all honesty, it was,
it's a great video.
It was really, really tame on set. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And she was very much a real sweetheart. When you show up and it's like, "Hey, you don't know me, but you're going to be repeatedly dropping a dress in front of me on TV." She was actually really cool with it.
It's a very romantic song and a great video. And if you haven't seen it, go to the website and watch it. Wow. And what a great album. The cool thing about this album, too, is you got to cut a song with one of your heroes, Willie Nelson, and it's a remake of a Waylon Jennings hit, "Rose in Paradise."
Yeah.
How did that happen?
The idea for the song got brought up originally, and we were kind of kicking around the idea, some of the people at my label and myself, we were talking about, it'd be really great when this song got brought to me, so if we did this with somebody like a Willie Nelson. I was like, "Oh, it's an awesome idea." So we go to my producer, who's a guy named James Stroud, and were like, James, wouldn't it be great if we did this song and we used somebody just real iconic, like, you know, like a Willie Nelson or somebody like that? He goes, well, why don't we just use Willie Nelson? I was like, well, James, I don't know about you, but I don't have Willie's phone number and cell phone. And he's like, I do actually, so let me call him. And he did. And it was just one of those crazy things where you're like, that'll never happen. And it, you know, all of a sudden you're in the studio with Willie Nelson.
Wow, unbelievable. Yeah, I mean, you told me earlier that Willie did not send his part from Texas. You guys were actually sitting in the studio, and you actually have video footage of that, too.
We do, and I don't know what we'll end up using that for something, you know. At some point, we've got that footage archived, but it's just one of those things that I have no idea what I said to the man. I need to go back and watch the video.
Were you nervous?
Oh, heck yeah. That's one of the first times I've been nervous in forever. It's freaking Willie Nelson. I don't care who you are. I mean, yeah, and he was so funny, man. He was great to work with in the studio. He and James were telling stories on each other. Just completely laid back. Such a nice guy. And, you know, it's just one of those things that was a dream. It really was a dream come true for me to do that.
Now pick up the CD, The Man I Want to Be, Chris Young.